What's up, everyone? Happy Sunday to you guys. I just finished wrapping up my vlog to you all, my weekend vlog. And something I was thinking about is I wanted to do a weekly recap of my challenge. And because each week there's something new that I learned in this process. So in my vlog, I was talking about how now I'm going to be participating in a weekly group of PsyD students, so doctorates of psychology students, with a focus on criminology and justice, but we all might be in different parts of our process. And so we're hoping by having this group, this will help like those of us that are in chapter 2 or chapter 3 or chapter 4 of our phase, like we can get enough people in the group to where we're all kind of supporting each other in different parts of the process, or we might have students, other peers that are in the very beginning phase where they just finished their capstone and they're in the planning part of their program. So their project justification statements and all of that. But to my challenge, so this week, it's Sunday. I am going to be finishing up day 28. And so in the last 7 days, and I was reflecting on my meeting with my chair, I realized that what was really helpful to me was that I really had to figure out a system for myself that was going to meet the demands and requirements of the program and to ensure that I was checking all the boxes of what my committee chair was asking me to do. And so we have all heard me say I had my moment of tears, but I digress. I'm one of those people, like when I hit the bottom or when I feel like I've hit rock bottom, it's perfect because that means I'm going to rebuild and figure out how am I going to like move through this. And so basically, what I started doing, because I've often said I was super overwhelmed by the entire process. When you're doing your coursework of your doctorate, you're doing coursework. So you're writing, you're doing everything in APA format, like you're getting through it. But the real work comes in when you are actually working on your dissertation or your applied doctoral project. For those of us that are PsyD majors, like we get to do something that is a practitioner based type of program developing. And so that's what I'm doing. I have 4 chapters that I have to do. But one of the things that I decided, and you guys have seen this notebook before, this is the same notebook that I take notes in when I meet with my chair. I don't record our meetings or anything. I'm like a note taker type of person anyway, but I also use this same notebook to break down any thoughts, reflections, anything that I need to do that's going to help me move along with my paper. So what I found, either I had to print off my entire paper to see all of the comments, which I ain't got time to be paying for all that ink every single week. So that was not working for me. um, I was like, there has to be another way. And so instead, my chair would send me my paper in a PDF file so then I could see all the comments and see the paper. And what I started doing, and I know this may seem time consuming and like, why are you doing that? That seems like, a waste of time. It's not. For me, I started writing the comments down. And so I would write the page number, whatever the comment said, and then like roughly the paragraph, not the whole paragraph, but like whatever word or phrase or whatever she wanted me to focus on. And after I wrote down all the comments, now the first time I did this, I had over 20 comments. Um, it allowed me to slow down and really kind of process what she was asking me to do. So this is also me putting on my indie children's book author hat because thankfully I have self-published 2 children's books. But the process is very much the same. You write, you revise, you write again, you revise, you go through template. But the difference is I'm doing the cradle to grave process of this entire doctoral project that I'm working on. So I have to do the revisions myself. I also have to do the writing myself. I also have to do all of the alignment to APA versus being an indie children's book author. It's a lot different. Like I get to do the creative part, and then I'm able to work with an editor who can provide me feedback, and I still have to do revisions, but it's just not the same. So I found, going back to my point, I found that if I wrote down the comments, so I meet with my chair on Thursday. So this is the process. I'm going to break down my system. I have my notebook so I can read it. Thursday, I meet with my chair. I get my feedback from my chair. I take my notes during the meeting. That night when I'm off from work, I sit down and I write down and read everything that my chair's expressed. And that same night, I also start working on my revisions. That's like phase one. Friday night, now mind you, up until I started this challenge, I did not get on the computer when I would get off from work on Fridays. And getting on the computer on Saturday was like also a no-no. Partly because I was on the computer so much. So this is just how I'm doing it. On Friday, I still continue to focus on revisions. I have to. And then Saturday, I continue to focus on revisions. By Sunday, I wrap up all of the revisions, and now I begin to write. So if I need to write more for chapter 2, I do that on Sunday because I kind of have like unlimited time to do that on a Sunday, kind of. I add to other sections. On Monday, I do the same thing. I'm able to continue writing on Monday night. And the same thing Tuesday night. I'm able to continue writing. Tuesday night, I tend to write a little bit more because I have to compensate for the fact that I'm going to be driving and commuting. I'm not going to be home till 10 o'clock at night. So I know I'm going to be writing probably from 10:30 to 11:15 or 11:30 roughly. I usually stop typing on my computer around 11:30. I don't like to push it past that time unless I absolutely need to. So that's Wednesday. And then with Wednesday, I'm reviewing, editing, and then submitting the actual document to my chair. By Thursday morning, my chair is going to read it, and then she's going to provide me feedback, revisions, and all of that. And then it's rinse and repeat again. So I learned that finding a way to do this every single day allowed me to not be so detached from my paper. It also allowed me to kind of focus in on what I need to do and not be so overwhelmed. And I feel like this is like great advice, whether you're a doctoral student or maybe you're just a student. You have got to find a way that you're going to be able to do your work every single day. Otherwise, you're just going to be kind of overwhelmed by everything all the time. So that's what I would recommend. And that's what I learned this past week, is that the system that I put in place is what seems to be working. I got a really nice compliment this past week that I cleaned up my document, which I did. And I attest that to the fact that I was able to really chunk down what I needed to do and just focus on what needed to get done. So that's what I would recommend, is figure out how to break down your systems and figure out a way that you can get your work done every day. And so you can still meet the needs of what your faculty member is asking you to do, or your chair, but also have like a little bit of work-life balance. And this also includes the fact that I went to brunch yesterday. I went to mariachi festival. I also went to breakfast this morning, but I still am making time to work on this paper. Before the challenge, Sundays I found were like anxiety ridden. I would just be so anxious because I knew it was like the one day of the week that I was going to be able to work on my paper. But in reality, I needed to spread it out so it was more manageable for me versus trying to do everything at one time. So that's my takeaway. Find a way to spread it out, make it more manageable so you can be successful. Now, this week for the challenge, what are my goals? So this week I will be traveling. So when I wrote out my calendar last night, I was like, all right, probably not going to have my spin bike. I know I'm going to be walking everywhere that I need to go for the most part. So I'll get a lot of my, not just steps, but like movement in. So I'll be sure to carry my walking shoes. I plan to, if the hotel has a gym, I plan to go to the gym and probably walk there as well, or lift some weights. I just feel like lifting will be really valuable. And doing that for 45 minutes may be really helpful to me. So I'm thinking I'm going to do that and probably some jump roping. And because I will be traveling for 5 days straight. So this is not my first time traveling and doing any kind of movement. I traveled so much during the summer, I found a way to make it more manageable for myself. And so that's going to be key. And then as far as writing, I don't know why whenever I travel, I don't have a problem like getting work done. Um, so I don't think that that's going to be an issue. I'll have my laptop with me. I will work. I'll do what I need to do. And I don't think it's going to be an issue of like working on my paper for 45 minutes, especially the fact that I will not have to teach for 2 of those nights. Well, technically 3 of my nights. So that frees up a lot of my time to be able to focus on doing other things and not having to worry about like preparing class and getting things ready for students. So that's my goal, is to make sure that I get in my movement, go to the gym at the hotel, or also count my time that I'm walking because I won't have a rental car. And I think writing for 45 minutes a day is not going to be an issue. I'll be writing before I go to bed. So that seems to be what works for me, and that's what I'm going to do. So I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I will catch you guys next week when I give another recap on how the challenge is going. Along with, I'll be checking in either through YouTube Shorts or short little micro videos telling you how I plan to tackle the challenge for the day. So, all right, until next time, you guys take care and have a great week.